So far in recent videos, I've talked about how Luka does an excellent job of attacking the rim and finishing with super high efficiency, and then also how he reads the defense to actually create open looks for his teammates, especially on lobs, or as we can see this pass out to Austin Reeves, where he's reading the defense right there. But the thing I'm going to talk about today is how he actually creates these opportunities by using his eyes to set up the defense to make them move where he wants them to create openings for his teammates. Let's go. So the easiest way we're going to view this is usually watching the help defender. So in this situation, we're watching Devin Booker in particular. And so the threat is right now Jackson Hayes coming downhill, a lob at the rim, something along those lines. Luka already does a good job making sure this defender stays with him and the big is going up with him. So now, essentially, he's playing on the idea that Devin Booker now has to pick between guarding here, Jackson Hayes, or going with the player out on the perimeter. And so from an ideal defensive perspective, you would want Devin Booker to stay here. That's realistic because Kevin Durant's already out here, so he can guard both players. But Luka knows that. Luka knows that Devin Booker's default is going to be to stay with the post player because they don't want to give up the dunk at the rim. Devin Booker's in pretty good spot right here. So what does Luka do? Luka's like, okay, I need to move Devin Booker just a little bit further out of the way so he doesn't have any chance of getting in Jackson Hayes' way of getting this ball to the lob. And so what he's doing right now is he is looking right in this corner. Okay? Sure, he's selling it to Kevin Durant, whatever, that doesn't matter. More importantly, he's selling it to Devin Booker. He wants Devin Booker thinking, oh crap, they're going to have a 2-on-1 out here if I don't go out here to help Kevin Durant and make sure that he's covered out here in the corner. Luka sells it. You can see Devin Booker simply takes one step that way, and that's all it takes at this level because Jackson Hayes is athletic enough. He's going to go get that ball, and Devin Booker is moved just to those 2 steps. That one step, simply shifting the momentum, is all Luka needs to find that opening at a high level in the NBA. As we're seeing, this ball screen is going to be set. Okay, LeBron sets the first one. Hayes sets the second one. This one is a little bit easier to see because it's further away. So right now, honestly, Michael Porter Jr. probably has this responsibility, but Michael Porter Jr. is not known for his team defense. So Christian Braun is the one that's kind of like sagging off a little bit, and he's the more athletic one, probably more responsible one on defense. And so Luka's like, okay, Michael Porter Jr. is not even looking this way, so I'm not going to worry about him. But Christian Braun is, and I got to make sure that Christian Braun stays out here with LeBron instead of going with Jackson Hayes down here to the rim because Michael Porter Jr. can't cover that ground right there. So what does Luka do? If we're going to watch his eyes, boom, right here. Hey, again, Michael Porter Jr. hasn't even moved, hasn't even taken a step, so he's out of the picture right now. Christian Braun is like, okay, still reading which way he's going to go. You can notice this area right here is hugely open, and so Luka is like, okay, I get Christian Braun to take simply a half a step this direction, and no one's going to get in the way of Jackson Hayes. There's no chance. He sells that pass to LeBron and throws a nice, easy pass to the inside. Boom, sells it with the body, sells it with the eyes, and then there's no one on the inside, and Michael Porter Jr. literally doesn't even take a step until Jackson Hayes catches the ball. The reason we see this so often with the ball screen is because there's a lot of moving parts, and so this is one where, again, this is actually very, very similar to that Suns example we just looked at. And so here, Giannis is clearly the rim protector in this situation. Like, you're not as worried about this player just because the leaping ability is not going to be there. The Bucks currently have 2 on the ball, so that's not a worry. And so ideally, I think the Bucks have this player split both these offensive players, and you just have 2-on-1 momentarily, but you can guard both of them if you have defensive rotation behind you. And so Giannis is the one that's the help responsibility here. He has to get the ball up here. The nice thing is Giannis is a freak athlete, so he can. And so Luka knows that. And so what does he have to do? Where are his eyes looking right now? Hey, he's not looking here. He's not looking here. He's not looking even at the big. He's looking right here. Because who is he trying to communicate to right now? He's trying to communicate Giannis. He says, Giannis, I'm going to pass this ball. You better go close out there, or otherwise it's going to be an open 3. When instead, he's actually thinking, I'm going to pass the ball right here because no one else can get there. Giannis simply takes that half step out, and the momentum is so much of a factor in this quick moving game. You take one half step in the wrong direction, and you have the open lob in the inside. All right, boom. Ball screen is coming up. There we go. Okay, so again, normally I'd say this player would be the help defender because he's the one like the closest to the baseline. But because it's a very small defender, they're going to have this dude essentially be the one that's making the decision. They want him to come down here. And so that's, I think, maybe the defense needs to get a little bit better set up in the first place. But, I mean, sometimes you're just kind of stuck in that rotation. Okay, so 0 is the one that is in charge of tagging the roller right here to make sure Jackson Hayes doesn't have the clean look. Luka sees this. One, he's seeing the court right now is beautiful. Hey, Jackson Hayes has this clean look. So who does Luka need to convince? He needs to convince 0 that he's going to pass to Austin Reeves. Okay, there's no one else that can stop Jackson Hayes. It is only going to be him. Okay, so Luka sells it with his eyes right here. Boom. Hey, he is looking right here. Okay, right at Austin Reeves, making this defender take 1/2 step that direction because he wants to go close out and contest a 3. But instead, Luka is merely waiting for the opportunity to pass the ball right here into Jackson Hayes. Does a great job faking it and a great pass, and it's so difficult to deliver that on timing with perfect accuracy in such a narrow window. That's very, very impressive. But here, this is in the playoffs. I actually think this is a pretty good job. The Lakers have kind of done this Spain ball screen where it kind of puts a lot of stress on this defender, because if you're going to put 2 on the ball, then this defender has to choose between staying with the shooter out here on the perimeter or with Rui that's coming downhill. And so I actually think the Timberwolves do a good idea. I think Naz Reid is the right concept and he helps down here. But Luka does such a good job in making sure that there's just a slight opening. So right here, like the Timberwolves are in great position. This defender right here has the opportunity to stay with Rui and also close out to Austin Reeves. He's in a good position. You have 2 on the ball. You have hands like kind of active where it's a difficult pass. And Naz Reid is kind of getting towards the paint. Like he's in a decent position right here. But Luka's like, okay, Rui's a good athlete. If you give him the ball in the middle of the paint, you're probably going to have good things come up. So he needs to convince this player to get out of the passing lane. That's his biggest thing. And let Rui work one-on-one with Naz Reid slightly out of position. That's fine. So he needs to sell it with this player right here. And so what is he doing? Where is he looking right now? He is looking right at Austin Reeves. Okay, his eyes are towards Austin Reeves. Says this player, take a half step, go ahead and go get that closeout, and so that way I can pass the ball into Rui. He just gets that small half step is all it takes. With like these athletes, it's crazy because he does a good job. He simply recovers well and gets a hand that's almost in the passing lane. Really, really good defense, frankly. But Luka has pinpoint precision, gets him off balance just slightly, and then obviously a pass right to the numbers, and you get the ball with Rui in the middle. Good things are going to happen when you get athletes working one-on-one. Not only does Luka do a tremendous job of finishing individually and reading the defense, his ability to manipulate the defense is what takes his game to a whole nother level because he's able to create opportunities where there weren't any opportunities to begin with, lets the defense know that he controls everything, and create those opportunities that allows his team, the Lakers, to be one of the absolute best in the league. If you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe. But most importantly, have a blessed rest of your day.